Newbie J here. We'll be using Pagination to create pages. Okay, so we'll be using HTML and CSS to build a pagination. Okay, so what that is, pagination, however you say it. As you can see right here, I put a little navigation bar right here, and then also right here is paginated pages. Okay, so what happens is if we click on, say, the number 2, it will go to the second page. Okay, if we click on back to home up here, it will go back to home page, which is page 1, or you can go to page 2, page 3, and page 4 by the navigation unit, or you can use the arrows. Page 5 and page 6 doesn't have the navigation, so you can either click on the number itself or use the arrows. You can go either way. One arrow will go up, one arrow will go down, and it'll keep going that way. Also, if you got 6, it'll go back to number 1. Okay, without further ado, let's get into it and make it. There's gonna be a little copy and paste on the other pages just so it can be faster, but here we go. Let's get into this. We got a blank folder. Okay, we got an index.html file and also a CSS file. Okay, so we'll get started with the HTML. We're going to use a quick key exclamation point. Okay, so we got our little HTML template. Let's get a link in there. So we're gonna do a shortcut again, link, and we'll do the CSS, which will give us a style. And by default, I always name my CSS file style.css, so that's good there. We'll hit a save to format it. I always add the type in for some reason, force habit, and it'll be text/CSS. We're gonna be building pagination, implementing pagination, I should say. Alright, let's get to it here. Let's get in our body tag. First things first, we're going to do a little title. Okay, and this will be our first page, so we're going to label that page 1. Alright, now what we can do is we can get live server up and running. If you haven't used live server before, it's very useful. It's right here. Very useful to have. Shows you everything you're coding. A nice preview that will reformat on save. Let's get rid of that. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so we got a tab. Now we're gonna make the nav so we have something to show. Okay, so we'll do that. We should have did the regular link. There we go, but we got that. So we're gonna need 4 of those. 2, 3, 4. And what we're gonna do is we'll name them accordingly. That's going to be, let's see, we'll do home, about, contacts, contact, should say, products. Okay, now we got a little base nav going here. We're gonna fill these in, might as well while we're here. We'll do, the first one's gonna be the index.html. The second one's gonna be page2.html. Third's gonna be 3. And the fourth one's gonna be page4.html. So we're in good shape there. Next we're gonna make a section. Okay. Let's get out the nav here. Let's go back up there. So now we're gonna do a section. And in that section we're gonna do a div for the paginated pages. Tongue twister. Alright, so let's see, let's give the div a class so we know what it is. And we're gonna do pagination. And then we're gonna be on the inside, so we're gonna do let's see, we'll do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do 8. Yeah, 8 sound good. And bam. Okay, so we got our 8 here. Okay. So now we're gonna number, fill these in so we know what they are. We're gonna do a left arrow here. And then we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we're gonna do a right arrow here. And as you can see, we got that right there set up for us. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill in our, might as well fill in our hrefs. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it the easy way first. We're gonna do an index.html, okay, and then the rest of these are gonna be these, as you can see. Okay. We'll copy and paste that. Make sure to correct 223344 index in 1. And these will be regular pages, but they don't have. Come on. Alright, so this one's gonna be 5. This one's gonna be 6. Okay, so here's where it's a little tricky. Okay, so now what happens is this left arrow is when it's clicked on, you want it to go to the previous page. Okay, so if we're on page 2, you want it to go to the previous page, which would be index. Okay, so as of right now, we are on the index page, which is right here. So if we were to go back 1, we would end up on page 6. So in order to get there, we would put page6.html here. Okay, and now the right arrow, if we were on a home page, which is the index page, if we hit the right arrow, we would want to go to page 2, which is the next page. So what we would do is put page 2 on the right arrow on this one. Okay, so now what would happen is the page ain't there yet, but we would be able to switch You'll see. Okay. As we get a little further. Also, what we're going to do is we're on the index page still. So, in order to show what page we are, we're going to do a class. What happened there? Class. What the heck, man? Oh, that's why. Alright, class. And we're going to do the active class because we want it to show when we're on it. So that'll be active. Now, what we also want to do is we want to add a class to the left and right arrow. So we can also show the difference when it's clicked on or hovered across. And with that, we will do is arrows. So that's pretty much it for the HTML. So what we're going to do now is move on to the CSS and start giving the structure to the page. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna do an H1, and that's just gonna be a simple text line. Why is my caps lock on? Okay, that will align the first title for us, and then we're gonna do a nav, okay, which would be a nav, and that'll be a nav UL, and we're gonna take away the list style. That takes away the list style type, which will be the dots over here along with the unordered list, which is by default it always shows. Next one will be the nav li, and for that we're just gonna add a margin. Oh, keep messing it up here. Margin, and that'll be a 0.2 rem. Okay. Give it some space. Next, we're going to do the nav A, and we're going to change color on that, and that'll be black. We're going to take the text decoration away, which would be the underline. There we go. And we're gonna give it some bold. Make it stand out more. And we'll give it a little pattern. Okay. Now on to the next one. After nav A. There's going to be some little bit of body, and that'll be the background color. Just to change the color a little bit, make it easier on the eyes. And now we're at the section part. Okay, you gotta make sure you spell it right so it targets the right spot. And we're gonna do a border. Okay, and that's gonna be a 0.2 rem solid black. And we'll do the border radius. And that'll be a 0.3 rem. Okay, getting there, we're getting there. And now we're gonna do a background color again. And for the background color, we're gonna do a antique white, and we're gonna give it some width. and that width will be 100%. Yeah, and we're gonna do, oh yeah, right. That'll be 10 rem per size. Block that out for now. Come back to it. So we got our section. What's next? Now we're gonna target a section. Now we're gonna target our class pagination. So we're gonna put pagination, and that'll be the first one we use. And that'll be also, we'll give it a text align, and that'll be center the numbers and the selections, and we're gonna give it a margin top, and the margin top's gonna be 8 rem. Move the numbers and selection down, and we're gonna have a pagination A, and inside that we're going to do color black, and then we're gonna do a text decoration to remove the numbers again. And we're gonna give it some padding, and that'll be a 0.3 rem. Yeah. What we got here? Keep doing that. 0.3 rem. Okay. And we'll make it a little bit bolder. So we're gonna do a font weight. Nice bold letters. Make it stand out. Alright, now on to the next, and we're gonna have, we have the active class. Okay. So in the active class, we're gonna do a border. That's going to be a 0.1 rem solid black. And then we'll do the border radius. And we usually use a 3.3 when it's rem. And background color. And let's see, we'll use hash. Okay. And then we're on active background color. We'll do color as white so it can stand it out. And then we're gonna do a box shadow. And for the back shadow, we're gonna do a 1 pixel, 3 pixel, 5 pixel, 0 pixel, and black. Okay, we gave that some shadow. Alright. So what we're gonna do now is we got active. We do dot pagination a dot active, and this will be copy and pasted, and presto there. This is just for the navigation. You'll see in a little bit. Alright. Hover now. So now we're gonna do a little copy and paste here. Get this moving along. Alright. So, now the only thing we're missing is the actual pages. They're the same as this. The only difference is class. This would change. This will be class active. Okay. So now as you can see, we're on page 1. So the home button is lit up for active. So if we're on page 2, we would have to have this active. Page 2 active class. Okay, which I'm going to show you. Of course. New file, we're gonna do a page2.html. Okay, we'll do a copy and paste. We'll save that. We'll move this class right here down to page 2. And now that we're on page 2, this class should also be moved here. Okay. And now also, if we're on page 2, the left arrow should have an href of index because it's before page 2. Okay. So now we have to change the right arrow, because if we're on page 2, the right arrow should equal page 3. And so on and so on. And the same thing for up here. If we're on page 2, the class has to be active for page 2. If we're on page 3, there has to be a class of active on page 3. Okay, so now watch. When I switch to page 2, the navigation up here switches to the second page, which is the About page. And now if I want to use the navigation, I can do the same thing. Okay, or I can use the arrow. Okay, that was the opposite page. Let's put page 6 so we can see the arrows work. Okay, so we go to page 2, copy this. Paste it, we're on page 6 now, so active class will go to page 6. There is no page 6 on the nav bar, so we don't have to worry about that. But this one will not be active on page 6 though, since there is no page on the nav bar. Okay, we're just testing out the arrow. So if we're on page 6, the next page, if we hit the arrow button, should be index.html. Okay, And if we hit the left arrow, which would be to go down, we should be on page 5. To be correct. Okay. So now, let's make a page 5 here. We're gonna make another page. This will be page 5.html, and then we're gonna put that there. So we're gonna move this class to page 5 now. Okay, that's all set. Now if we're on page 5, the next page should be page 6 for the right arrow, and page 4 for the left arrow. Okay. Now we have a page 4 up here, so but we're on page 5, so we don't have to worry about this. Okay. So let's get rid of that and that. Alright. Let's test this out here. Alright. To go back, we're on page 1. To go back, we'd end up on page 6 if it works correctly. Okay, see? We're on page 6. Page 5. We don't have the page 4 yet built, but it would be the same thing. Copy and paste. 6. And back to 1 again. 2. Let's put a page 3 and 4 in there. Mine as well. Okay. And we're gonna put a page 4. Screw it. Alright, let's get some. Alright, so we're on page 4. Okay, so we're gonna need a class here, and that'll be active. Okay, and then we're on page 4. Active should be on page 4. This should be page 3, and this should be page 5. Okay, now page 3. Oh, I forgot to change the numbers on the page itself. This is page 3, so we're gonna need a class, and that's active. We're on page 3, so this should be page 2, and it should be on 3, page 4. And active should go on page 3. Oh, messing up here. Class active. Okay. Alright, that's that. Alright, let's fix this now. Now let's see it. All the pages are there. Okay. All the pages are numbered and everything. Now let's check this bad boy out. This has a lot of use cases, depending on how you want to design it. Okay, so we're on home, we're on about, contact, and products. Okay, so that's the 4 pages that are there on the nav bar. This can go anywhere you want, but I just use this as an example. This could be at the bottom of your page, and this could be your nav bar at the top. So if you wanted to switch the page at the bottom, you could, and at the top it'll still tell you what page you're on. Or switch from the top, and then when you scroll down, it still tells you your page you're on also. Okay, all the arrows work. You can go all the way around, round. Either way, up or down. Okay, let's check the numbers of the page real quick. Okay, so we got a page 2. That's gonna be a 2. We got a 3, that's correct. We got a 4, 4, 5, Let's put a 5 and 6, the last one. Presto. Alright, so now each one we go to, it'll say it right there. Okay, so we're on the page 6, which there is no now for page 6. On page 5, 6 again, page 1, and with the home button highlighted, page 2 with the about button highlighted, page 3 with the contact button highlighted, and 4. There you go. Well, I hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button, leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the work.